Okay, guys, here we go. Meditation, everybody hands up. Good, close your fists, wrap it around, bring it down to your navel. All right, gonna go left and right, sitting left and right, sit, left.
I've always looked at firearms training as a form of martial arts. In that world, people spend hours perfecting a fighting craft, yet no one thinks they're nuts. Average people think hand-to-hand combat is more a pursuit of accomplishment than preparing to beat up the next dude he runs into in a tap-out t-shirt. But if you tell someone you're taking firearms classes on a regular basis, they look at you like you're a potential mass murderer. They'll get lost in the fear of knowing someone can shoot and handle a gun really well, but won't bat an eye at a doctor who's a third-degree black belt and could kill them with a single blow. Yes, part of the reason why people train with a gun is for self-defense, but they also just want to be good shooters for the sake of it. We all don't have fantasies about barrel rolling into a Wells Fargo bank robbery and shooting all the robbers. Okay, maybe I do sometimes. It's about gaining a sense of accomplishment, doing something you love. The focus, the discipline, and respect for the firearm needed to become a great shooter easily crosses over into other parts of your life. No one may ever see you get a drill right after working on it for hours, and they don't really care. Because perfecting a craft is not always about having the world see it. Sometimes it's enough to know you were able to accomplish it.
You fellas, okay? You wanna put it in them. You wanna put your knee through their chest. And push it. Oh, that's it.
Learning to manipulate and use a gun with extreme proficiency is an art form, and it's time we start talking about it that way.
Nothing exists beyond this point right now but your survival, your own self. Hey, move. Hey, that's it, move. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. There you go.
Why do you train?
I train because I have a connection to reality, and I understand the threats that exist. I understand the world that we live in and the chances of getting into a confrontation that are out there.
Because I'm chasing that dream. I want to be the best. I want to be able to go out there and compete and dominate if I could. And it's fun, man. It's not work. People say it's boring. I'm like, no, dude, it's a lot of freaking fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the last person that anybody ever tries to attack and get away with it because of what I know and what I want to do to protect myself, my family, and those that are around me that are innocent.
So why is it important for you to be the best?
It ties into keeping there and making my family proud of me. Because they truly believe in what I do, and they support me 100%. My wife, my parents.
If there's one person in the gun community that I can most relate to when it comes to shooting, it's Michelle Viscusi. In case you don't already know, Michelle Viscusi is a professional competition shooter for Team Glock. Michelle's rise in the competition world was a unique one in that I literally watched her rise from being a questionable shooter to a really good one. As a shooter, the Michelle that I know today is not the same Michelle I knew back when I was first writing blog posts trying to figure out where the hell she came from. I watched Michelle turn into a great shooter the same way a lot of people watch me go from a horrible shooter to a decent shooter with great shooter tendencies. So what's going on with you?
Not too much.
You are Miss Glock Girl.
Right.
Can I call you that? No?
Sure.
Okay, Miss Glock Girl. So as Miss Glock Girl, you got any competitions coming up?
Yeah, I actually have a match next weekend.
Okay.
And that's in Utah.
What type of shooting are you gonna be doing in this competition?
So in this competition, like the things that I train for before a big match, I definitely work on my movement. That's a big thing, running a course. So you could start from point A and end at point B. That's 20 yards away, but you still need to work on movement, getting there quick and fast, and also being accurate. So I work on accuracy. I also work on transitioning from target to target, and like little things like just drawing and working on basic things like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I think we've reached a point now where we don't have any more ammo.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Let's go shoot this.
All right. So what we're gonna shoot, just to start out, like something basic at the range when you're just getting out and starting, just working on your draws.
Okay. So typical practice session, if you know you have a competition coming up,
Right.
how long would you be out here?
I normally spend about an hour to 2 hours out here by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stand back. I'm gonna
All
let
right.
you do what you do.
All right.
I may or may not learn something, I don't know.
Hopefully.
Shooter ready? Stand by. 130.
Slow.
Oh, damn. Shooter ready? Stand by.
Oh! We didn't see that. Nobody saw that.
The reason why I'm shaking my head up and down, I really don't know what these times mean. So I don't know what's fast or what's slow. It looks fast to me, feels fast to me,
Yeah.
which is kind of how I shoot.
Yeah.
I think I kind of want to try my hand at it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Shooter ready.
Ready?
Stand by.
What?
42.
We're trying to go fast.
Did you see anything?
I mean, all right.
Okay. All right, shooter ready.
Shooter ready.
Stand by. Slow down.
What was my time?
Doesn't matter what your time
All
is.
right.
Your time.
All right.
Shooter ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Take your time. There you go. Perfect. Slow down. Slow down. Slow. Take your time. Aim. There you go. Perfect. 126. That was perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. That was really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
Okay.
And did you aim?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I
there
did.
you
I
go.
did. Why are we here?
So this is where I used to do gymnastics. So from age 16 to 18, this was my second home.
Okay.
4 days a week, 5 hours a day, you know, going to school. Then maybe if you have a job, get some days, you work around it. And then you
Gotcha.
have gymnastics right after school. Go to school, gymnastics, come home, go to bed, do it again.
So what did you take from all those years of doing gymnastics, as much as you did? Is there anything, any particular skill set, any mindset that you took from that you apply today with the shooting that you do?
Right. The hard work that you put into, you need to train. If you want to be somebody, you got to be here and you got to put in the work. And it's
Gotcha.
the same exact thing with shooting.
So as a female shooter, right? So there are going to be a lot of people who kind of dismiss you and say, oh, so she's just a pretty face.
Right.
Is there a chip on your shoulder from that standpoint?
When I first came into it, I was like, I took it to heart. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm here to prove something. I want to be good. And like, I did come into the world as, I started modeling. So people kind of brushed me off as, you're just
Sure.
a pretty face.
Yeah.
You don't know how to shoot. So I kind of wanted to prove a point in that aspect of, no, you can model and you can shoot and you can be good. So I kind of just ignore those people now.
Yeah.
And then I just post my videos and hey, if you choose to see them and you like them, then great, come by, say positive things about shooting and maybe hopefully I can help you.
You'll never be satisfied. You'll spend days, weeks, even months obsessing over that one gun. You'll tell yourself things like, it's the only gun I'll ever need. And you'll spend months saving up for that one gun. And when you buy it, you'll be in love for about 3 days. And then on the 4th, you'll find another gun to fall in love with. 3 days later, you're walking into a gun store just to look. 30 minutes later, you're filling out a 4473, telling yourself the AR you just bought is an investment and will only go up in price if Hillary wins. But you know you'd sell your house before you sold your guns. 2 months later, you're filling out your 15th 4473, buying another investment. A drug addiction would be cheaper than a gun addiction. The cost of the gun is just the price of admission. Guns don't come with bullets, and there's never a time where they're not selling ammo for crackhead prices. 50 rounds here and there is cool at first, but then you start acting like a sex addict and start buying guns chambered in weird-ass calibers because 9mm just doesn't get you off like it used to. And then there's the accessories. That gun you once loved now starts looking a little weak after spending hours scrolling through picture threads on AR15.com. Now you spend more on parts and accessories to Kardashianify your gun than what you spent on the gun to begin with. Oh, and did I mention that your closet isn't a gun safe? You can only store your guns like a trap queen for so long before you get so many guns that you have to buy another safe. And they're selling those at crackhead prices too. And then there's the judgment. Buy more than one gun, and all of a sudden you're a ticking time bomb. Buy more than 2 guns, and then they're reporting you to Homeland Security. Every gathering turns into a low-key intervention session about how you stockpiling weapons of mass destruction is scaring everyone. Then there's that cute girl you just met who you can't seem to get to return your text messages. 2 weeks later, you find out she told LaSorte that she liked you, but after seeing all the guns in your apartment, she thought you were a gang-banging drug dealer. This is the reality of getting in the guns. Sure, they make you happy and are a blast to shoot, protect the lives of the people you love and yourself, but like everything else in this world, there's a dark side. So the next time you're driving down the street and you see a gun store or see that recommended video from that sexy chocolate pro-gun YouTuber, do yourself a favor and turn the other way. You don't want these problems. But who am I kidding? This shit is fun. All right, so what are we gonna do next?
I have 2 boxes laid out right here. So you're gonna start in one box, you're gonna draw, shoot one, and then move to the next one and shoot another. So what you're working on is not necessarily your shots here. Obviously you wanna be accurate and hit it, but you're working on your movement, getting to point A to point B quick.
So, are there any special rules between moving from box to box? Like, do people shuffle, do people turn and run, or?
I like to start facing here, so I'm already ready to move.
Okay.
And so when I'm going, I step out and then only get like 1 or 2 steps. And then you wanna break down right before the box.
Okay.
So you break down and then you come in and you shoot.
Okay, do it again. Shooter ready? Stand by.
1, 2, 3.
All right, so I guess I gotta try this out.
You gotta try it. Shooter ready. Stand by. But you're not in the box. All right, so first, what you wanna do is you wanna aim at the target and then pull the trigger.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what the little red thing on top is for?
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. Take your time.
God.
Oh my goodness. There you go. Perfect. All right, so one thing you wanna do, like when you think you hit it and you didn't,
Yeah.
don't jerk back, because then that's gonna take an extra second or whatever it is of your time.
Okay.
Be quick in your movement.
Are you trying to say I'm slow?
No. Be quick in your movement, and then once you get in, you already wanna have your gun out.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So this part was great. You need to put that on your first. There you go. Aim, aim, aim. There you go. Perfect. 288.
Oh, I told you I could do it.
There you go.
I need your help.
Yeah. Whatever.
For us, when we did the Magpul Dynamics DVDs, those DVDs just did something completely different, which was it just went
Changed the game,
vertical
yeah.
in the gun community. And I remember when we talked about filming, you know, I had said originally there was some talk about, oh, just film us, like just individually us.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if you could film a class, it's like there's so much fun, but I don't know if you could learn off watching another student and stuff. And I think when that recipe, when Rich Fitzpatrick sat there and kind of looked at it, and I remember him manipulating some of them, going, no, this isn't good, I'll know it when I see it. And I remember like when he saw it, he's like, that's it.
Yeah.
And then he was willing to throw down the money for it. And that just really changed the community and made it fun. And so many people started getting into shooting. It was crazy.
You know what I think it did? I think that is when the idea of training with a firearm became a martial art in that sense. I think it was always there before, but it was always a training based around the military. But I think with those DVDs, what it did is it made that art form accessible to the regular everyday person.
That's true.
You know,
Not the guy who might know about Front Sight, Gun Sight,
Exactly.
Thunder Ranch.
Yeah.
The classics that were out
There
there.
are people like me, and you can say what you want about them. You can criticize them all you want. What it fundamentally made me do was respect it. Is respect the idea of training. And for a group of people who didn't have military backgrounds, who didn't have firearm backgrounds, coming into it, I think that is more than valuable in terms of what that contributed to the community. Because then you got an explosion of people who came into the community and were like, I understand what this is, I respect it. So for me, when I say it turned it into a martial art, for instance, like what she does, she is a fitness trainer. I have friends who are, I have a friend who's a black belt in Shotokan, and a lot of those things. And all of those things have heritage, even from the fitness side. And so for me, there's no difference. When I come out and I go to these training schools, it's the exact same thing if I were to go to one of her classes or start taking classes with one of my friends who has a dojo. All of those things come together because they are essentially an art form that have a very practical, functional purpose in life.
I think what also made it work too was Magpool's bread and butter wasn't doing DVDs at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the training division. What they did, they already were successful at. So I think for them, this was something that they wanted to educate the public. They wanted to entertain. So you have to have a little bit of entertainment to
You
keep.
think I'm gonna sit there and watch a 6-hour video?
Yeah, I mean, now when people bring it up, I'm amazed that they still watch it, and I feel like it's like, it is dated, so to speak, in regards to, yeah, we do some different things now. Everybody's gonna grow at some point.
Absolutely.
But the other side of it wasn't just to education and entertaining, it was to motivate. That really kind of changed that perspective, on the shooting side, and made it, like you said, it was a little bit more obtainable.
Nonetheless, I'm thrilled and always glad to be able to learn under you. And I just keep harking back to the days when I first started this and watching the DVDs and learning, and that was my process where I was just sucking everything up. And I have to say, I haven't had a better shooting experience
Yeah, this
in
was
years,
awesome.
honestly.
Wyoming is awesome.
No bullshit. Than I had these 3 last days. I'd be dead serious about that. All right, so what do we got next?
So we set up a little course of fire. So you're gonna start in the box. You're gonna walk through, shoot the left target, and then the right, and then the left, and then I'm gonna reload. And then I'll come in the box, and once you get in the box, shoot this last 6.
Shooter ready? Stand by. Yo! I was blazing. Ooh, good job.
So now you gotta do it better.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. So I definitely could see
Woohoo!
a lot of stuff we worked on earlier kind of coming into play with this.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a great job. You just gotta keep moving. Just remember to keep moving. Even if you're shooting really slow, take your time, but continue to move.
Gotcha.
You don't wanna make an
That's
extra
just
position for
interesting.
yourself.
Gotcha.
Yep. That was really good up here. You fixed your moving.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah,
what
I mean, even though the plate rack took a couple extra rounds, that's fine. You completely fixed what you messed up last
Last
time.
time.
You went straight and you kept shooting and you didn't stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to know, nice to know. Obviously, Michelle's a good liar. One of the unintentional themes of this season of Noir, which will be obvious in a few episodes, is that women are really freaking good shooters. Which is interesting, because all I ever hear from the media is BS about how women can't use firearms to defend themselves from rapists because they'll just have the gun used against them. All I know is any policy that attacks Michelle's right to choose how to protect herself isn't just sexist, it's ignorant as hell.
that section with Michelle. That was really interesting. I mean, I respect the hell out of anyone who puts that much time and effort into educating themselves and training how to use a gun effectively. I mean, that was impressive, and you can see why she's doing well competitively.
Yep.
You learned a bit too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I'm always learning because I'm never listening. Or I'm learning and forgetting. One of the two. What? What?
Nothing. You did have your Ray-Bans on, so that
What is
usually
wrong? What's wrong with my
usually
Ray-Bans?
your Ray-Bans are like your douchebag tail. Like if
Really?
have
You
those
got
on,
him
you're
on the
gonna be
Ray-Bans?
douchey. Just say. But the training was good.
Everybody loves Ray-Bans. Stop it.
And if everybody had a level of training like that, then I think we'd have a lot less gun violence in this country.
I don't.
Why?
Absolutely not. No. The
So-
training has no effect whatsoever on violence.
So do you think that even like the accidents maybe, do you think it would like tone down the accidents?
In terms of accidents, yes.
So
But the
then-
thing is, it's like, remember, I attribute the violence in this country to people.
Sure.
So whether or not they're trained or not trained, somebody who wants to be violent is going to be violent.
But do you think that maybe like the thought process of, because when you're training, it's discipline, it's energy, it's effort that you're putting into it. So do you think that maybe that would kind of deter people from doing these things? Just having a more full understanding of what they're actually
Having more
doing.
extensive education in how to effectively use and store a weapon like a gun.
Well, that's accident.
I will
Yeah.
you'll never hear me be against the idea of training or more education.
So then,
I
you just don't want to force people.
Exactly. I don't believe in mandating it.
Why?
So let me ask you this question. You want to mandate a certain educational requirement
standard.
for somebody.
A standard, yeah, I do.
For somebody who can own a firearm.
Yeah, I do.
Which is based on a constitutional right. There's no other constitutional right
Well, also
that requires a mandate.
well, let's be real.
Right.
The constitutional right is based on the militia. It's based on you having a militia, so it's
Nah.
based on training anyway.
If you have
for
a
the purpose of
constitutional right-
maintaining a militia,
No. A militia being necessary for the preservation of a free state,
Sure. So then,
comma, the right of the people
okay, I love commas.
keep and bear arms.
I don't like that comma.
Shall
I don't care.
not be infringed. So the essence of a militia, so to speak, was for the preservation of a free state.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And then the militia is consistent of who? The people.
Yes.
Right?
And so for that reason,
Trained.
No. I
militia.
said well regulated. That means
Well regulated.
well
But as part of
regulated.
regulated, that means
The
trained.
word regulated during that time period
Regulate.
meant well functioning.
okay.
At the end of the day, what it boils down to is this. Why in the world would they see a potential problem and say, you know what? We do not want to have this free society fall victim to the very thing that we just had a revolution over, right? Which is what? The government, correct? Why would they then take the idea and concept of militia and hand the power right back to the government to regulate it? That makes no sense.
So then, if that's the case,
That makes no sense.
okay. So
Why?
here's the thing about governments, and I get what you're saying. I really do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that you took the historical aspect into consideration because I think that's important when you're looking at any amendment
Okay.
or any constitutional right. If you know that you should be, like, the point of this is to defend yourself against, let's say, in that case, they were worried about the government coming in and saying, you know what, we're gonna do some messed up stuff. They want to be able to fight back against the government, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was the point of the Second Amendment, so that the government couldn't come in and prevent them from doing that. So
It was a check against tyranny.
it was a check against tyranny, and I get that. I understand that, and I respect and appreciate that.
The point is this. In order to have an effective militia, you have to have a group of people who can come together to check the tyranny with guns. Because without them, they can't do that. And whether you guys want to acknowledge it or not, there is a big group of people out there who have power and influence who do want to ban guns. So what ends up happening?
I agree.
Yeah.
I believe you.
So what ends up happening though? So what about a mother who has 2 kids that she's raising on her own, works 2 jobs? She may not have the money nor the time to go out and get the type of training that Antanique did in order to own a firearm. So now they're depriving her of her right to own a firearm
Well, she better
based
keep
on
those
her
guns
income
safe
level.
if she's got 2 kids at home.
But she's doing it but you're depriving her based on her income level. That's not right. Especially when we're talking about something that's a constitutional right.
What we're saying is that to the extent that we want education and that at this point it's something that you agree is worthwhile, the people who are anti-gun agree is something that would make them feel better about guns, what's the holdup? Like,
What do you mean?
if you think that the people are intelligent enough to see that, or intelligent enough to have a gun, to own a weapon that essentially is used for ending lives in their own defense, and that's fine, then I think that it's fair for us to require them to get training. Like,
requiring them to get training to what, to make you feel better? Because requiring them to get training from that perspective, right? You're requiring them to get training to exercise a right that they inherently have.
I believe if we get into this well-regulated, within that concept itself requires a basic level of training.
If the idea of the Second Amendment was to serve as a check against the government, right? And the only way that you can have that is by having an armed population of people, an individual right. Keep that in mind. We're not talking about a collective where the guns are stored somewhere and then we can go and get them, but they're under the regulation of some other governmental entity. That's not independence. That's not freedom. That's being controlled by another institution, which completely undermines the concept of the Second Amendment. No, the idea of it is that each individual person who is free in this country has the right to own a firearm, so that in the event we are dealing with a tyrannical government, we can come together and check it.